Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is November 29th, 2022, and Bitcoin, as well as most of the cryptocurrency markets, are under this major resistance right here that I pointed out in the thumbnail, okay, and that I've annotated here with a dotted line or dashed line. This is the major resistance that we need to break. Right now it's at about 16.5, okay? A break of this resistance really takes us up and out of all of this price action that we've been under since the 11th. Okay, so for about 18 days, we've been under this same price action. And it looks as if it is going to be breaking soon. We're going to have a look on the smaller time frames at why that is. We're also going to check in with the DXY as well as the total market cap, the total crypto cap. We're just going to have a look at that. So that's going to be the analysis for today. And as usual, we're going to go down the watch list. If that interests you, then watch on. Hope you're having a great day today. It is a nice day in the DC metro area. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's not too cold, I should say. It's not hot. It hasn't been hot for a while, but yeah, the weather's good. All right, let's get into it. All right, we're on the hourly time frame, and again, here, let's get rid of the momentum indicator. This is what we're looking at. This is what we're dealing with, okay? We had this drawdown from 20 down to 16, okay? Everybody and their mom was saying, we're going down to 10K. We're going down to 8, 9K, whatever. They're still saying that, all right? People are still saying that this is going to break down, okay? And actually, those people are short. A lot of them are short. And if we get a move up and out of this region, they're likely to get squeezed. Okay, I talked about this a couple episodes back. A short squeeze would further propel price in this direction. Okay, so we've made a low, but what happens after you make a low? What happens after you make a high? You have to consolidate. So if you're coming off a drawdown, lots of people are selling the asset. You have to consolidate and absorb all the supply at this level before marking back up. That's essentially what is happening, okay? This is just a consistent phenomenon that you see in markets, right? You sell off, accumulate. You mark up, accumulate before you draw back down, right? And we can call that a consolidation reversal. I mean, this is just another way to talk about it. And again, you're looking at 2 degrees of AB basing. An A wave, I would say this is a B wave. This is another A wave. And I think this is another B wave. And then a pivot here. I think this is a pivot. And up and out. Okay, that's a viable count. Is that the count? I don't know. But that's likely. Okay, if you look at the momentum indicators, the hourly stochastic RSI is down back in oversold territory. Okay, so we are ready, at least on the hourly time frame, to go up. And what's really interesting is for people that are bearish, understand that this little move here reset the momentum indicator all the way down there. That's bullish divergence. I know a lot of people look at bullish divergence and look at highs and lows made, and that's one way to look at it. Another more advanced way to peep or to discern bullish or bearish divergences is by what I just said. So you're up here, you hit this resistance here at 16.5. You came down on the price action and that allowed you to reset completely on the stochastic RSI. That is quite bullish, because if it were bearish, right, if this were a bearish move that we could expect to come down quite a lot, we would still be up here on the momentum indicator. Do you guys understand? Like, these are subtle but really important when you're reading price action to kind of ascertain what's likely to happen next. If this were a bearish move, bearish construction right here, right? And, you know, it was more likely to break down than up, then what we would have seen is likely that momentum to stay up here rather than come down and reset for a move back up. Okay? So that's just one tidbit that I noticed in the market. Let's go on the smaller time frame. So let's go on the 15-minute time frame. It's an extremely small time frame. Try and figure out what's going on here. Okay. So on the 15-minute time frame, I'm looking at this. So I already said that this entire sequence right here, for me, is a B wave. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Something like that. Let's see. Trying to figure this out. Yeah, something like that. 1, 2, 3, something like that, and then a pivot into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I think this whole thing is a B wave. Okay, so I'm starting to count. This is my second degree, and if that's my second degree, I see 5 waves up here in some way, shape, or form. And I see 1, 2, 3 waves down, respecting the 0.5 to 618. This is basically what I'm reading. And I think I said this yesterday. My pivot is here. And so whatever this is, it's likely, let's pull out our retracement, Fibonacci retracement indicator, or levels. I'd say it goes up to here. And yeah, so you see these 3 waves. If this is an A wave, right? Maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. Okay, I think that's more likely. So let's pull that back a little bit. Okay. So yeah, if this is my A wave, my second degree, AB base, then this is my B wave, A, B, C. Okay, you have run-of-the-mill zigzag, 5 waves up, 3 waves down, respecting the 0.5 to 618 of the preceding A wave, and then you get a pivot, and then you get a move up and out. Okay, so let's say that is correct. Okay, I think that's a high probability read. Right now, I like that. So let's just look at this, okay, and try and figure out what's going on here. So like just a note on my method. You see, I try to parse it. You don't eat an elephant in one bite, or whatever the saying is. Like, I'm trying to go piece by piece. So if this, then that. If that, then this. Larger time frames, trying to figure out what's happening. Okay, if that's likely, then let's go on smaller time frames like that. Instead of coming out with one big, okay, this is exactly what's happening. Just high time frame, what's more than likely happening, and then go smaller and smaller time frames to really understand what's likely happening. And if you don't know, you don't know. And that's also a statement. That's a powerful statement, because it gives you the space to figure it out with more information, or just to keep an open mind and say you don't know, and then all of a sudden a pattern jumps out at you. So yeah, just a note on method. Okay, so we're looking at this region right here. I say this is okay. the end. Remember, this is the last of our B wave, okay? So this is the impulse. This is an initial break of structure right here, targeting wave 4 of the previous trend, okay? And then this is a B wave. Ooh, actually, I think the B wave goes like this. Okay, so this is my A, B. Again, you can see these AB bases on smaller time frames. So this is my pivot here. This is my small A. This is my small B. And this is my impulse. That's how I'm reading it. This three-pronged structure, okay, and I used to call this on the channel pitchfork reversal. You can see here. It's very quintessential rounded bottom pivot. Okay, just on the small time frame, you can see it. It has all the elements. Once again, I'm going to show you an initial break of structure targeting wave 4 of the previous trend, a counter wave to that, which is a B wave, okay, and then a secondary AB base with an A wave and a B wave, both flat structures, and that is my pivot right here. So, based off of that analysis, I am inclined to believe that this is the beginning of my impulse. Okay, this is the beginning of my impulse. Let's zoom out for a second. This is the beginning of my impulse given all of this corrective price action. So all this corrective price action happened and my impulse starts here. Does that make sense? Like, I counted all of this as consolidation reversal. Consolidation reversal, consolidation reversal, consolidation reversal, consolidation reversal, pivot. This is the beginning of the impulse. That is what I'm seeing. Doesn't mean it's correct, but I think that's a high probability read. And it's likely happening. Let's add volume to see if there's any corroboration with volume here. I don't see anything that jumps out at me on the volume, at least on the 4-hourly. Let's see. Okay, there is something. This is quite a spike right here. Okay, that typically indicates something significant, especially if you just look back. You don't see any, I mean, this whole time right here. And this is how you use indicators, guys. It's not just using the indicators like, oh, red dot, green dot, yellow X, green, like, there's no story. It could be this and it could be that and it could be this. Like, it's just confusion. You can't get around being able to be proficient at price action. At least understanding basic support and resistance, right? My mentor, Jack Schwager, says that, and he's the author of the Market Wizards books, no matter the style of all the traders, and he's interviewed hundreds of traders, and, you know, Market Wizards books, if for those of you who don't know, it's basically interviewing traders that are particularly successful, meaning, and by Jack's standards, they've exhibited 10 plus years of success and they have to show bona fides. They have to show their equity curves for him to even move forward with the interview. He only interviews winners, okay? Of all the things they have in common, all of them are different. Some of them are Wyckoff, some of them are Elliottician, some of them trade this, some of them trade medium term, short term, long term, swing position, day trade. There's so many different styles. The only thing that they all have in common is that they all have a basic understanding of support and resistance. Basically, price action. If you're one of those traders who think you can get around that by using market cipher, using this indicator, the indicator 5,000, the buy or sell 5,000, like, you're not only wasting your money, but you're also doing yourself a disservice. Take the time and learn how to read price action, and then add your indicators, and that is going to make your indicators so much more powerful. Anyway, this is significant. Why is it significant? If I'm looking at the past 18 days of price action, remember this hit on the 11th or 8th rather, the 8th, the 29th, the 20 days, 21 days of price action. I don't see a larger candle. Okay, this is pretty much one of the largest, if not the largest, volume candle, and it just comes out of nowhere. That is significant for me, okay? And I think that coincides with where I said the impulse started, okay? So I'm going back onto the smaller time frame. Okay, there we go. And that makes me want to count my Elliott waves from here. Doesn't. No, that was in the middle of my pitchfork. This indicates, actually, okay, it's not where I'm gonna start my Elliott wave, but it's interesting because it basically indicates the bottom of this move and the end of this corrective move, and this is still in correction, although it represents the nominal low of this move, which I think is going to continue to go up. So we have a volume candle here. I think that's significant, okay? But my orthodox low for this Elliott wave is over here. That's where I'm going to start counting, okay? And I do think that we are in that Elliott wave. So let's go back on the smaller time frame. Yeah, that was on my big B right there. So I think that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would say that this is the start of our Elliott wave. I think this is the end. Or is this the end? Maybe this is the end. Okay. And then this is E. So is this, so that's the question I have right now. Is this the end? Is this a concerted wave 5? Let's pull that again. Right here. So 8 hours and 30 minutes. Something like this. When would the end be? Around here somewhere. Add the AB basing, you get 8 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, I would say that is, it's close. Okay, on the smaller time frames, it's harder to read, but I think 5 waves up, 3 waves down, the time is comparable. Okay, it's good enough for me. I don't know exactly how to parse this, but I am comfortable saying that this is what's happening on the smaller time frames with Bitcoin is likely something like this. Okay, and you get some AB basing once again, even on the smaller time frames, and you're going to get a continuation here. So what you could expect, sorry. Okay, what you can expect is something like this. Okay, let's just put these in, and then I'm going to rearrange them in a second. Let's make this opaque. And let's measure. Let's go on the hourly time frame. Let's turn off volume. Don't need it right now. And let's measure this. Okay, so 2. Okay, I would not be surprised if we put something like this in. Something like this. Okay. I would not be surprised if we put in a leading diagonal now. Okay, leading diagonals you typically see when it's like the first impulse out of a correction. Okay, and this would also satisfy. I like the leading diagonal here. Why? Because you could have a deep retracing wave 4, which would then retest this 18 or 20 day resistance as support. Okay, so even if it's a leading diagonal, wave 3 has to at least be as long as wave 1. That's why I have wave 3 coming up to 16.7. And I would not be surprised if we came down like this, okay, for wave 4. Okay, it doesn't have to happen, but I would not be surprised if that were the case. Yeah, nice 0.618 retracement of wave 4. And then as a result, you get an extended wave 5. And remember, that wave 5 is at minimum, when you get these extended wave 5s out of leading diagonals, it's at minimum the phi ratio of waves 1 through 3 retracement of wave 4. So I would say that wave 5 we could expect to come to 17.6 at minimum. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit on the 4 hourly, and yeah, I think that is likely. I would take it even to the 2618. So it hit this, but you know, honestly, it could go as high as it wants to. It could go as high as it wants to. So yeah, I would not be surprised if we got a leading diagonal up and out of this, because remember, support or big resistance has to be retested as support. And I think that's what you're likely to get there. So that's my read on what's happening with Bitcoin and what's likely to happen. Nice hash login says always on top. Definitely, definitely. Thank you for commenting. I hope everybody's well. So yeah, meanwhile, the DXY is once again topped out. It was topped out here, okay? But it's also topped out here. It's at resistance, okay? I know it seems a little bit confusing because yesterday the DXY was up here and broke down, but then came back, right? But it's still at this resistance, okay? So I would not be confused by that price action. Our stochastic RSI shows us that we're topped out on the hourly time frame, on the 4 hourly time frame. On both time frames, we're topped out. So it's very likely that we get that move down. Now, I still maintain the likely count is such that this is some sort of minor wave, because this is an intermediate wave count, so I'll call this minor, yeah? Minor wave 1, and this was all a minor wave 2, and then this is just a pivot. Yeah. A, B, A, hold up, sorry. This was the minor wave 2. 1, 2, 3, okay? And this is your pivot right here. So let's focus on the pivot real quick. let's go on the small time frames, 15-minute time frame, so you can really see it really clearly. So this was when we finished, right? This was C wave. This was clearly the impulsive wave. The impulsive wave is always the last leg of any corrective wave, whether it be a ABC wave or a WXY wave or WXYXZ. Whether the Z, the Y, or the C, it's always impulsive. So we're always looking for that impulsive wave to end our corrective waves. And again, if the trend is down, right, then the counter is corrective. Okay, the counter is corrective in a trending market. So this is our wave 2, and it's counter to that impulse to the downside. Okay, what comes after that, and where we really make our hay on this channel, is understanding that there's such a thing as A/B basing. There's such a thing as that mode of price action that is not necessarily impulsive or corrective, but consolidative. Okay, it's what allows the price to change direction, to go from this impulse to that correction back to this impulse. You need that A/B base, that price action that changes the mode. Okay, it's like a mode shifter. Okay, and here I think we can clearly see an A wave, a B wave, a small A wave, a small B wave. I think you get a pivot here, and finally a rejection. So you see A/B basing in down markets as well. You see them in both markets, okay? And just like in up markets, or yeah, just like what we pointed out with Bitcoin, here you can see it's a 3-pronged rounded top, right? Just like on the bottom you see 3 prongs, right? You usually see 3 prongs. You see the same thing, but from top to bottom. So I would not be confused by what's happening with the DXY. As you can see, the 15-minute time frames topped out. The hourly market, the hourly stochastic RSI is topped out. 4-hourly stochastic RSI is topped out, right? And it's been hovering for quite some time. So it's coming down, and when it does come down, it'll resume its impulsive nature. And actually, it should go into wave 3, minor wave 3 of our intermediate wave 3. I know I call this intermediate. Let's just switch it to primary, because there's no reason for me to call this intermediate. Here we go. And the only reason I'm calling it primary is because primary is like the default for a wave. So yeah, now we could just call this an intermediate wave 1, intermediate wave 2, pivot into intermediate wave 3 of primary wave 3. That's usually the money shot, the most impulsive. Okay, so okay, this is what I expect from Bitcoin. That's what I expect from the DXY. Now let's go through our watch list, and it's likely that we see a lot of parallels. Okay, so Polkadot's first up. I do similarly think that Polkadot's under this resistance, kind of like Bitcoin. You can see something like this, okay? Something like this. It's under significant resistance, whereby a break of that resistance would yield a big move. Okay, let's go back to Bitcoin for a second. This is something I haven't done. I just want to look at something really quickly. Let's say I'm Sheldon the Sniper, and all I see are patterns. Yeah. Okay, and I see this as a triangle. Let's just do this real quick, okay? Let's say I see this as a triangle. I take the height of the triangle. Let me take it all the way down here. I take the height of the triangle and I superimpose it from the side of breakout. Look at that, guys. Can't make that up. You know, sometimes that stuff works, you know. But the power of Elliott wave theory is the context that it provides and the accuracy, the precision that you can't get from just doing pattern analysis. But again, pattern analysis works just as well. I think this is a pattern that is likely to break up, and as you saw, let's just make this. Let's keep that dot dashed. Let's keep that dashed. Okay. But yeah, as you saw, the target would be up there, just like we kind of presumed, but using other means. And usually, again, when you see that you have confluence, meaning you reach the same conclusion using a variety of methods, it's more likely than not that that's what's going on. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 18.4, okay, after we broke this and retested it, and, you know, boom, 18.4. So that would be a move, a 10% move. Not the biggest move in the world, but, you know, that's what I'm seeing, okay? So yeah, now let's go on to dot. And we can actually do the same thing. Here it's a little more complicated because I think your triangle is not as straight. Something like this would not surprise me. Yeah, coming up to these levels right here in polka dot, so like a 15% move. And again, I think like technically what you're getting here is, if you go on the small time frames, you are in impulse. Okay, let's turn on the volume real quick. Yeah, the volume's not telling you too much, but I think what you got here is a wave one. Let's just annotate these real quick. It's not going to take us long. I think you got a wave one, really shallow wave two, but it's a wave two. It's a legitimate wave two. Again, I would not be surprised if you got these leading diagonals, because this big resistance has to be retested. I believe it's likely to be retested. Nothing has to do anything, but it's likely to be retested. Something like that, yeah. And then extended wave 5. Would not be surprised. Okay, and let's just measure out wave 3 real quick. But I think wave 3 will be just as long as wave 1, because if it's a leading diagonal. So something like this. You get a breakout to this level, you come back and retest that. Would not be surprised if that happened. Okay, may even happen on stream. Something like that, yeah. What do y'all think? Okay, let's move on. Cardano. Okay, zoom out. I think this is quite clear. It's been building up. Okay, one thing I learned when I was only there was a time in my trading career where I was only doing pattern analysis because I didn't know any better. That's the extent of technical analysis that I knew. And I did learn that drawing a triangle, you want to make sure that you have enough touches for a resistance. I think 2 to 3 touches. Okay, although this has 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 touches, the fact that this region doesn't hit, it doesn't inspire too much confidence. It may still be a viable triangle, but I would just say, these are the cases where you bust out your skills in reading corrective price action. So this is a secondary A wave, secondary B wave. I think your pivot is right there. Your start of impulse is right here. So on the small time frame, I'm gonna measure this really quickly. Yeah, I don't like that. So is this already a leading diagonal started? Might be from here. Might be. This is unorthodox for sure. These are the only cases where you get waves. Wave 4 encroaches in the region of wave 2, and sometimes wave 2 can even go beyond the 618. Only time in an impulse. I wouldn't be surprised if something like this was happening in Cardano. I don't know, but that's just my that's just my hunch based off of what I'm reading right here. But at the end of the day, I think we're going up. Okay, it's just how are we going up? Your stochastic RSI on the hourly completely bottomed out, and obviously, if Bitcoin's going up and most of the market's going up, then most of the market's going to follow suit. Okay, let's move on. Let's see. Okay, reserve rights. I think reserve rights is already an impulse and it started over here. Let's put this in. Ooh. I think you're gonna get this. Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading and thinking. yeah, I would say it's likely that you're gonna get this, something like this. So let's measure it out real quick. Yeah, it's likely something like that. And then maybe an extended wave 5 or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I think we're already in impulse. Exactly how we're going there and all that stuff, it's not that important. People get hung up on, oh, this has got to be this, that. Like, at the end of the day, are you going up? Are you going down? Or are you not trading? Like, are you going up? Or are you going down? Or you're not trading? Like, that's all you got to answer. And then, obviously, after that, you answer by how much and where to put your stops, all that stuff. Dodo. Dodo. Okay. I think that the impulse started right here. Right here. This is wave 1. This is the end of wave 2. And you're going to get wave 3. Wave 4. Wave 5. Wave 3 is going to be a little longer, I believe. But I think we're in impulse. We're finally in impulse. That means we entered impulse on the 27th? Okay, cool. I think we're finally in impulse. Guys, for those of you who don't know what that means, being finally in impulse means that we continue to go 5 waves up, 3 waves down for months. For the entire bull market, you continue to go 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up, 3 waves down. Obviously, you're going to have some small degrees of consolidation reversal, right, between waves, but you're essentially putting in 5 waves up and 3 waves down consecutively. That's what makes a bull run a bull run. That's what makes a bear market a bear market. Minus the, obviously, the accumulation of supply at the bottom. And then for a bear market, the distribution of that supply at the top. Sorry, I meant for a bull market, the distribution of that uptrend at the end of it, that's the end of the bull market. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't, just let me know. I do think we're in impulse already. Let's look at the volume. Okay, volume went up, right? Volume went up. Maybe not so significantly, but it went up a bit. Okay, still not nothing to write home about in terms of volume, but I do think that on the small time frame, we can see it's likely that we are in impulse, and I'm saying that because I'm reading that across the charts. Okay, are we finally getting rejection here on the DXY? Because we're not moving up until this rejects, right? This has been playing around, but we like this. What is it? It's a leading, it's an ending diagonal or a rising wedge. Let's just say it's a rising wedge. These tend to break down, so it's a good sign. It's right around the corner. That breakdown is right around the corner. Let's see. All right, let's keep going. Okay, Ethereum. This is a very, very bullish asset. People don't understand. People shorting Ethereum, I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, for a long time, Ethereum has been extremely bullish. It underwent a triple halving. It has shown strength throughout this consolidation, this bear market consolidation accumulation. By and large, it's been printing zigzags. Okay, I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, I think quite clear that you can see the 2 degrees of AB basing. If you look, that's 1 degree. Okay, that's an A wave and a B wave. And then this is let's just do that again. That's a 5 wave move up and then a 3 wave move down. That is 2 degrees of AB basing, a pivot, and an impulse. I think we're in impulse in Ethereum as well. Because I'm seeing this consistently throughout the market, I'm more confident. I keep seeing 2 degrees of AB basing, a pivot, and an impulse. Very likely that this is the beginning of an impulse. Started on the 27th or the 28th. Yeah. I think this is a wave 4 correction, actually. Just on the small time frame. Just FYI, or for what it's worth. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to parse that. I guess let's go on the smaller time frame. That's one way to do it, right? Yeah. Okay, so for Ethereum, I think it's clear that this is going to come down. This is going to come down over here. But just a little bit to complete this impulse, or sorry, to complete this correction. I think you're putting in a wave 2 correction, so. Something like that. Before continuation. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. Is this significant? Yeah, I think you got to retest this. Because look, this has been resistance since the 16th, so about 12 days. That's long enough, right? It was support here, it was support here, it was resistance here. I think when you break it, you got to retest it. So this, again, is likely to be a leading diagonal where wave 3 is just as long as wave 1. It comes back with wave 4, sharp correction, and then finally you can put in a proper wave 5 that's extended. I think something like that is likely to happen. But I do see in the immediate short term us coming down in Ethereum for what it's worth. Yeah, I see another impulse here with ZIL. After I count 2 degrees of AB basing, and I see a pivot, I see this is a wave 2. Yeah, something like that, I don't know. Let me measure that really quickly. Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't like this as a wave 2 because it retraces so much. Maybe the impulse has not yet started because I don't like this and that. This seems to be still corrective, just given the retracement here. So I'm going to refrain from saying that this is already an impulse, but in any case, I think you're moving up sooner than later, and that you held this 0618 for these 5 waves up, I believe. You went 5 waves up from here. Oh no, I keep making that error. It wasn't 618, it was 786. So it was a 3-wave move from here. Or was it? Was it from here? It's probably from here. Okay, so on that thought, given that this is a 3-wave move, this is a 3-wave move, and it's a flat correction, I think you're coming down here to fulfill the 786 minimum retracement before you're moving up. Okay. Silica, Dogecoin. Okay, I see this coming back down a little bit. Maybe it's not coming down all the way here, but maybe it is. To complete whatever this is. 3, 3, 5. Okay. So I think that's going to complete your flat correction. Like this. That's what I see with Dogecoin. Litecoin. Okay, I think you're coming down just a little bit to complete this small correction. 3-wave move. I believe it's a 3-wave move. Synthetics. I think it's ready to move back up. This is what we called a bull flag. Right? I think this is a classic bull flag construction with the flagpole and the pennant. Here you have let's see, can you see it on the... Yeah. So on the 4-hourly time frame, you can see the bullish divergence really clearly. So as you are coming down, right here, you're going up like so. That's really strong bullish divergence. So when that does turn around, and I believe it's turning around here with a consolidation reversal AB base, it's going to pop. Because, I mean, look, a 4-hourly time frame, that divergence is really strong. It's coiling up right there. It's coiling up. Algorand. Perhaps we are in the first wave. go something like that. That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I would have this come up a little more than, but yeah, something like that. Okay, BNB. I think we're coming down just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, you're coming down a little bit for this zigzag to hit its minimum retracement of 0.5. So I think this is coming down a little bit between 0.5 and the 618 before continuation. XRP. I think you're already in impulse and you started over here. This was the start of the impulse right here. Wave 1, wave 2. I think you get wave 3 up here somewhere. Wave 4. So yeah, X&P is rocking and rolling as far as I see it. And I think it's interesting, like, you know, not everything's moving in perfect lockstep, but things are similar, right? Sometimes some of these assets we see they're on the way up, but they have to, you know, put in a small retracement before they go up. Others, they're already on their way up, but eventually on the high time frames, they're all going up. You know what I mean? So this is what I see. Okay, and that's it. Let's jump into the small time frame, see if anything changed. No, nothing's really changed. I still see Bitcoin in that impulse right here. So I wouldn't be surprised for that to play out. Is anything moving, you know, significantly yet? Not on our watch list. Let's look at the general watch list. Young Dasa says, can you check out Zcash? Of course. Let's add it to this watch list right here, this general watch list. Actually, it's already here. But let's do a quick search and see if anything hasn't moved big time. So OneChain. Dogecoin. Yeah. So nothing too crazy. All right, Zcash. There it is. Okay. So Zcash. Let's go on a high time frame so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Okay, so yeah, I had this as a zigzag, but it looked like it played out to be a flat. So that was a three-wave move. Probably hit the 786. Not quite. Not quite. Okay. For that reason, I would not be surprised if this came down a little bit more to satisfy the minimum retracement of a flat correction. Given that we lost this level, I think we then need to hit the 786. I think I'm pulling this properly. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I think you come down just a little bit more to hit that 786 Fibonacci retracement level. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. So coming back down to about 38.60, something like that. So that's on the higher time frame. Let's see. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Let's go on the hourly time frame and see. Yeah, so this looks to me like a pivot. So this was your A wave targeting wave 4 of the previous trend. This is probably going to do something like this. And then that's what I'm seeing. So basically, this one last pivot. But I think you're going to come down and make a lower low just to satisfy that 786. That's what I'm seeing in Zcash. A little more patience, which, I mean, it's annoying. We're almost in December. Still sub 20K. But yeah, I think we're almost there. We're really so close. Yeah, that DXY is starting to break down. It's topped out. That's a great sign for, moves to the upside. Bitcoin dominance continues to plunge, so alts are nice and healthy. So yeah, that's my take on the market, everyone. Hope that was helpful. Hope that was useful. I'm starting to feel like this wave 2 correction isn't finished. I think it's coming back down a little bit more before going into wave 3. By the way, for Bitcoin at least, and maybe for Cardano, it's wave 4. In any case, we're very close. That's my take on the market. TLDR, or too long didn't watch, didn't listen. I'm long, and I would remain long. And yeah, I feel like it's any moment now. We'll continue to put in moves to the upside, small moves to the upside, until we break these resistances, retest them as support, right? So until we break these resistances right here, retest them as support, then we get the big moves that get everybody's attention. Until then, people are still going to accumulate short positions. Most of the market is short. Most institutional traders are short. Most influencers are short. So yeah, I'm still waiting for that short squeeze. I think we're still going to get that sooner than later. All right, so that's it for me. Hope that was helpful. Hope that was useful. Like, share, and subscribe, guys, and have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you tomorrow.